Look, if you don't pass this health care bill, get ready for the midterms.
That will certainly have an impact. Chris Prudhome, president of Vote America Now, joined us. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, good. Thanks for having me again.
Let me ask you, we know these last couple of months, or first couple of months for President Trump's administration have been a little tumultuous. Yep. What sort of impact do you think it's going to have on those midterm elections?
Certainly, he would have a major impact on the midterm elections.
Is that good or bad, though, for the GOP?
You know, it can be good, and of course, it can be bad. But look, at the end of the day, there's a lot going on right now. We have to see what the health care vote up tomorrow, the tax reform. So there's just so many different issues going on. It's really too early to frankly tell.
All right, so let's talk about the general electorate. First and foremost, people who were dragged through the most brutal presidential election ever in this country. No matter who you backed, it was brutal, it was nasty, it was much more nastier than it ever should have been. Do you think people are even looking towards 2018, let alone 2020?
Yes, absolutely. And I believe this is going to be potentially one of the largest midterms in a long time in recent years election. And with everything going on now, there is going to be a major, of course, the Democrats are really going to be rallying up their base. Obama with his coalition and his new organization, I'm sure they're going to be doing everything they possibly can to take away seats. Look, they've already poured $3 million into Secretary Price's old seat, Congressional District 6. That in itself tells you what's happening at this particular moment right now. It's going to be certainly a very, very I won't say ugly midterm, but it's going to be a lot going on.
Let me ask you, since the election, we've seen a number of different protests, huge protests, from the Women's March to several other marches that have been not only just here in D.C., but nationwide, some of them worldwide. Do you think that this will also bring about a new wave of politicians who are now spurred to action because of their disappointment over the last election? Well,
I certainly think that this has motivated a lot of people to be more inclined in the process. I always tell people, people were into President Obama. Well, when I say people, I'm talking about mostly millennials. At the same instant, now I think a lot of people are more into politics. This has woken up a lot of millennials to be engaged in the process, to understand what the process is and how it works. So I think people have a better understanding now that it's not just about President of the United States. It's more about local and state gubernatorial races are coming up. So I think it is going to be a huge, huge outpour, because people realize that's who can get things done as members of Congress. And especially look at the health care issue right now. So people are starting to understand the importance of how a congressman and your local member can have such an impact overall on legislation.
Right. They say all politics is local, and that Chris brings up an excellent point. Chris, we're always glad to have you in here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon.
Yep.